Hey guys, so this isn't usually the content I would make, but I feel like this is something very important we should talk about because this isn't just about video games now. This is like the sphere of the platform as a whole. So if you guys don't know, YouTube put out a tweet recently, like a day ago, saying they're taking away the dislike button. And I think that's very concerning because the dislike button has a purpose. But let's step back a little bit. So the tweet reads, to reduce targeted dislike attacks and their impacts on creators, especially on smaller creators, you'll no longer see a public dislike count on YouTube starting today. The dislike button is staying. This comes after a lot of research, testing, and consideration. And they have a video right there. So, first off, I just want to say that I think this is a very dumb decision. The whole point of the dislike button is to judge a video's worth, like they say. And let's boil this down. If you take away the dislike button, you can't stop harassment. Because you can't just stop harassment. So what are people going to do next, huh? If they can't dislike the video, what are they going to do next? What? They're going to go and write a mean comment. They say they want to protect the creator's mental health. And that's cool. But they also said the creators can still see the dislike button. So what's going on here? If they're protecting the creator's mental health, but they can still see it. And if they said instead of disliking, they just write a mean comment. That mean comment could hurt them more than the dislike button. The dislike button is supposed to be a measure of the video's worth. And I feel like this is just so wrong, man. They purposely make it for those people like, oh no, I got a lot of dislikes. Oh man, this must be really bad. There's this famous phrase that it's an old phrase, but it's applicable here. It's, if you can't handle the heat, get out the kitchen. Same thing here. If you guys get mad over a couple dislikes, I mean, what are you doing? You should get off the platform. Everybody is subjected to criticism. And yes, there are special cases where people are targeted. So I won't tout YouTube's researchers, but I feel like this research is very biased. They're leaning towards these favorable results because they think it works for them. I think this is wrong. It feels like it's targeted towards corporations mostly. Like this, a special example is the recent Nintendo Switch Online update. Like, if you guys saw, that video has over 120,000 dislikes. And rightfully so, because the service is terrible. Like, all they do is they give us a couple extra games that aren't really worth the $50 they're putting the price tag. And the people have voiced their opinions with the dislike button. And it makes sense because the corporation is not going to read through every single comment and say, oh, your service is bad. No, the dislike button is an easy way to tell if the video or the content is bad. So by taking the dislike button away, how are they going to know that we don't like their stuff? They're just going to keep saying, oh, there's no criticism. We're justified in charging this amount for this service that clearly isn't worth it. And I think Nintendo, obviously, they saw this is their most disliked video that they have on their channel. So clearly they know they're in the wrong. But if the dislike is taken away, how are they going to tell? Like, we can go as crazy as we want, but the PR guy at Nintendo is not going to read every comment. If he sees the dislike button and it clearly is higher than the like button, they're doing something wrong. So it's a clear voice to the corporation that they're doing something wrong. And if you take it away, they're not going to know. They're going to keep being stingy corporations. And a lot of people are saying, yes, there's going to be a lot more scam videos. And I agree, there could be a lot more scam videos. I know when I look up tutorials for my videos, I like to, you click the first one and usually it's a good video and stuff like that when you're looking for tutorials. But if you take away the dislike button, anyone can upload a tutorial video and say this is really good. They're gonna do it all for you. But when you look at the video, it's going to be garbage. They're just going to like crappy mobile ads. It's going to be all like that. And how are you going to find the right tutorial? Like, it's hard enough as it is to find a tutorial video. Now they're just going to flood it with a ton of other tutorial videos. What are you going to do? So, I saw the video because, hey, I don't want to tout YouTube. I'm sure they got a clear reason for what they want to do. So I give them a fair chance. I clicked on the video, their response to all their upcoming criticism, and they made a couple points as to why their researchers and the company concluded that they don't want to have it. So if we look through the first one, I think I've discussed it. The guy in the video said they taken away because there's like this dislike bombing on people's channels because they don't like the creator or what they stand for. Now, I think I've already talked about this, but yes, that can happen. I'm not gonna say that doesn't happen, because that can certainly happen. If you don't like a creator, some people might just dislike them to abysmal because they don't like them. And I think that's totally wrong, and that can hurt a creator's mental health. But at the same time, I say that's like a rare case. Most people don't dislike because they hate the creator. If they really don't like the creator, they're gonna voice their opinion on Twitter and talk and like tell them in person how much they don't like them, even though it's wrong. Because even if the creator is bad, just telling the criticism, they'll learn and say, "Oh, maybe I'm doing this wrong." Like, personally, for me, they said they're trying to do it for a small channel. I consider myself a small channel. I mean, I only got 12 subscribers. Excuse me. So, for me, everything counts. Every piece of data counts. Every like and every dislike helps me and says, this video is good, this video is bad. And I've heard from a lot of big creators who are talking to us small creators that when you first get a dislike on a video, that means you're making good content. If you just get likes on a video, then you're making bad content. So really, the dislike videos for us small creators is actually a benefit. It tells us that we're making content that people care about, so much so that they'll give it a dislike. So I think it's really important for us small creators. It tells us that our channel is growing. If we just keep getting likes, then we're stuck. Like, I've made a ton of videos so far, and they're not good because I've only grown a couple subscribers, which I'm grateful for. But at the same time, there are other people who make like one good video and boom, they already get a ton of subscribers. So, but they also get dislikes, and those dislikes tell them they're making good content. So it really helps. And taking it away is just like making the road to a good channel way longer. Now, you know what's funny? The people who posted this is Team YouTube. And I haven't had to experience this yet, but I know a lot of big content creators, when something happens, they have to contact Team YouTube. It's so abysmal that they have to contact the Twitter Team YouTube to get the changes done. Some people could have monetization issues, maybe, issues like that. So, but there's no YouTube support to go and say, "Hey, I'm having an issue. Could you help us out?" Instead, YouTube is spending their resources and their research on stuff like this, when they could be spending it on a support for content creators who actually need the help. That would be a good update, because no creator is going to like smooth sail through their entire career unless they're like super high, 50 million subscribers, where they can easily get attention from YouTube. But regular people with 1 million subscribers, if they say, there's a lot of people with 1 million subscribers or 100,000 subscribers. If they say I have an issue, YouTube is going to say, "Who are you, man?" So they should really focus their resources on stuff that actually matters. Like, I remember back in earlier, YouTube was so much better. They had a lot more ways people can do things. But now they're like slowly making YouTube into more like a haha, everything's happy. But that's really bad, because if they condense content like that, then there's not going to be room for any criticism and good content. Because in order for people to grow, they need to be criticized. Like, I welcome criticism. So by taking this away, they're kind of molding their platform to be like, everybody has to follow this. Like, I don't know if you guys remember this, but there was this one point, they call it the adpocalypse. And it was a lot of people, I wasn't around, but a lot of people were content creators having issues because of the way things are set up, especially with the kids and stuff like that. So now it's changed. You can't make the same content you can make before. And, when we get back to that, oh, shoot, I forgot what I was saying. It was something about content. But, all right, well, I guess I forgot what I was saying. If I find it, I'll get back to it. So, back to the video. The second thing they talked about was they didn't see a noticeable difference in viewership when they were doing their testing. So, for one thing, what constitutes a view? Because when I click on a video for me, it gets a view. Even if I click it multiple times, it gets a view. So if when they have like those tutorial videos and you click on it, they still get a view. So that counts as viewership. So like they didn't notice a noticeable difference. Of course they didn't notice, because when you click on a video, that counts as a view already. And I looked it up to say, what does YouTube constitute as a view? And what constitutes as a view, there's two sets of criteria. The first set of criteria is that the person willingly clicked on the video, which that's mostly fulfilled. The second criteria is that they watched it for at least 30 seconds. Now, those two can fit the average of most people. When they're looking for like help or a video, they're going to stay for at least 30 seconds, because nobody's going to say, all right, we're getting straight to the tutorial. No. If you guys know, they're going to extend it to at least 10 minutes to get that sweet cash money. So when they actually get to the tutorial, they'll probably be in a couple minutes in. 30 seconds is nothing. So, they get a view already, and you can't even tell if it's a bad video or not. And if they take away the dislikes, you can't tell if it's a bad video. Getting past 30 seconds, it's already a view. So how are they going to notice the difference? How? I mean, this is just like mind blowing. How this is like YouTube is digging its own grave at a faster pace, because this is just crashing down. They're like putting too much restrictions. The more restrictions you put on, the content's going to be more square. It's going to be exactly the same. There's going to be no room to make new content, because now with cancel culture and stuff like that, it's so hard to make content or criticize anybody, because everyone's so butthurt over criticism that all the content, at least most of the content on YouTube nowadays, has to be squished into the mold. If it's not squished into the mold, then you're not gonna make it. And that's really sad, because there's a lot of great content creators back in the day who used to make really good content, and their content could not exist in 2021. Like, if you put some of those YouTubers' content in today's platform, they'd get canceled immediately. And that's sad, because look, I get it. Some of that content, yeah, it may be a little derogatory, but at the same time, it was really innovative. A lot of people laughed at that stuff, and I'm pretty sure most of those content creators didn't make the content to offend anybody. They're just doing it as satire to give people joy. And that's the great thing about YouTube. Like the guy said, there's so much different content on YouTube, and a lot of people can enjoy that content. But if you're squishing everybody into the same cookie cutter mold, then it's how are we gonna enjoy content if everything is the same? We're all gonna get bored and move on to another platform. So I don't know, man. I just don't like that. Making everything into this dislike is one step closer to making every single bit of content cookie cutter, because no one's gonna innovate. They're not gonna be criticized, and everyone's just gonna keep making the same garbage content if they don't see the dislikes. Or big corporations are still going to keep going if they still don't see the dislikes. And it's just really bad. So another point they made in the video is it's less likely to cause the content creator stress or embarrassment, basically their mental health. Now, yeah, mental health is a big issue. A lot of people are a lot more sensitive than they were back then about stuff, and I get it. You know, mental health is a big issue. I'm not touting that. I think we should really be concerned about that, but it's a dislike button. How are you gonna get really sentimental over a dislike button? You know, I said this earlier, but there on Twitter, you know, I recently learned this. There's this term called ratioed, and Twitter, they mentioned this in the video too. Twitter does not have a dislike button, so but people are still gonna express their anger or their sentiment towards something they don't agree with. So that's where the term ratio comes in. So instead of disliking a tweet or whatever, there's a comment that's opposite opinion of the main comment, and if it gets more likes, then they call it the term ratio to just show how much they don't like the person's take. And it's the same thing's gonna happen on YouTube, but the difference is there's gonna be a comment. Instead of voicing their sentiment over a button, a little dislike button, they're gonna write a comment, and you know those comments are gonna hurt a creator's mental health way more than a dislike. Because I've heard that with some content creators, when you get a mean comment, it really stings. Now I haven't personally seen that yet because I'm a small content creator, but when you see those comments, it really hurts. So that's gonna make mental health even worse. By directing the hate from a simple button to a comment, that's really gonna hurt someone's mental health way more than a simple dislike button. Okay, now the last kind of cheeky point they made was, oh, the YouTube is this because of YouTube Rewind? They're trying to be cheeky by using that YouTube Rewind stuff, and I can't believe this, man. You know why they got hurt over YouTube? We didn't like YouTube Rewind. It's because the people they put in and the stuff they and the agenda they were trying to push in their little videos, it was super cringy. Like, of course we're gonna dislike cringe. Those people, the people at YouTube should know better. They should know better and make better stuff. They've been doing YouTube Rewind for a couple years. They should adapt, read the comments, and say, oh, and use the dislikes. They should use the dislikes. It's a piece of data that says, we don't like the content, you should improve it. It's a subtle way of saying, we don't like the content, you should improve it. Instead of, oh, wow, this video is really bad, you guys suck. Like, the dislike button is a non-harmful way of saying, this content sucks, you get better, or we're not going to watch it. And apparently some people at YouTube got butthurt over it, and they say, oh my goodness, I'm so offended. I can't go anymore. Like, come on. You grow up. You guys just gotta take the hit, man. You're supposed to learn from this experience, not cry to your mom. This is just, I can't believe this, man. Alright, I think that's pretty much all I have to say. Just overall, I don't know. I think personally, I think this is dumb because a lot of people use the dislike button as a way to judge good content from bad content. People who get butthurt over dislikes need to grow up because YouTube is a brutal place. And it's not brutal just because of the people, the people on the site, but because of the company themselves. They're making a lot of changes that makes it a lot more toxic. And I don't know. I'm just saying, this isn't good. YouTube really needs to stop smoking that joint they've been smoking, and they should revert this change. So that's all I have to say. Please give this video a dislike to show that you don't like YouTube's practices, because honestly, I would appreciate a like or a dislike, especially. I'd love to see it, because that'll tell me if this video was good or not. So please give me a dislike. I'd appreciate it, because it tells me that this was a bad video and I should work on it, make better content, and I will make better content. But you have to tell me. Just it doesn't even matter. Even in pressing the button is, I'd appreciate it, because it tells me that you care. You care enough to say, I like the video, keep continuing your work, or I don't like the video, you should fix it. So please give this video a like or a dislike. I'd appreciate it, because that'd really help. So I guess that's all I have to say. Thank you a lot for watching. YouTube, I can't believe this. You're not doing it right. But anyways, like I said for the millionth time, thanks for watching. Give this video a big fat dislike, and I'll see you later. Peace.